Downhill. Guys. Downhill. Guys. Downhill.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing the Delphi case again. So if you're unfamiliar with the case, I've actually linked some videos below that go into more depth about what actually happened in this case. I'd highly recommend you watching them before you watch this video. So with that being said, today I want to talk about this.
During the course of this investigation, we have concluded the first sketch released will become secondary as of today. The result of the new information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch, which you will see shortly, is the person responsible for the murders of these two little girls.
So these two sketches have been one hell of a topic of debate. And Doug calling the old sketch secondary, it's just a really odd choice of wording. Even when I first heard it, I thought it was such a weird thing to say. Saying secondary makes it almost seem like the sketch is still kind of on the table. It's just second to the new sketch. But then Indiana State Police released a statement to clear things up. In specific, they wrote, on Wednesday, police emphasized that a new sketch of a suspect's face is not supposed to be a different take on a composite sketch of a heavier, older-looking man. They are, according to Indiana State Police Sergeant Kim Riley, not the same person. Riley also said on Wednesday that the original sketch released in the summer of 2017 showing a man with a goatee and a driving cap is not presently a person of interest in this investigation. That seemed to clear everything up. It was pretty clear that they were suggesting that there was another person on the trails that day, and that's where the first sketch came from, and they had cleared him. It was not the killer, and that the killer was this younger guy. But then Doug Carter said this.
The sketch, and to be clear, and you did clarify this after, but in case folks didn't hear it, you don't want them to look at both sketches anymore. You only want the newly released sketch, correct?
That's correct, but remember, a sketch is not a photograph.
Right.
It's something similar to a resemblance. And the likelihood of this being something between the two is probably pretty strong. But again, that's a subjective opinion based upon what I believe.
So if you weren't confused before, enter in Doug Carter. It does seem as if he's suggesting that the killer might look like a combination of the two sketches. Now, there's an argument to be made here that he's suggesting that the killer could look like something between the video and the sketch. It's just difficult to tell, and I am by far not the only YouTuber to be confused by the statement. Many YouTubers, even very large YouTubers, have gone back to this quote from Doug Carter, suggesting that he is unclear as to what the killer actually looked like, and that he possibly could have looked like something in between the two sketches. And it's critical to know what he means by this statement, because even a bad sketch is better than none at all.
Now this just in, police officers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania were asking people to be on the lookout for a man who robbed a store. And I think we do have his description. Can we take that? Let's take his description. Okay, this is the guy they wanted people in Pennsylvania to be out on the lookout for. He's got a nose and some hair that goes like that, and he was wearing a hat at the time of this particular crime. He's got kind of a chin that comes down to almost a point. Stands about 5 feet 4 inches tall. There it is. Get a good look for yourself. Oh, and now I'm getting word that police actually caught this guy, thanks to the sketch, no doubt. So here's a picture of the real guy next to the sketch that led to his arrest.
Where's the pointy chin?
It's uncanny, Lisa.
We need something to work with, and don't let other YouTubers out there convince you that the internet isn't capable of hunting this person down, because it most certainly is. This isn't 1999, and let me assure you that the internet is capable of figuring out some pretty crazy stuff. I could list a ton of examples, but I actually think I'm just going to list my favorite.
Because people thought that they were
endorsing
that
trolling.
Yeah, exactly.
They should be endorsing it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
What the 4chan guys did was fucking amazing. This is what they did. Shia LaBeouf Is that how I say his name?
LaBeouf.
Whatever that fucking crazy asshole's name. He was doing some weird art piece where he like stood around with a bunch of other people and was like, "He will not divide us. He will not divide us." They would all say that, and then all these 4chan people found out about it, so they showed up and started yelling a bunch of fucking Trump shit.
It's still up
Here.
live right now.
So here's the backstory. Shia LaBeouf, however you pronounce this dude's name, decided to do like a performance art piece in front of a museum where he has a wall with a live stream video camera in it, and it's basically a protest against Trump. And as Joe mentions, he actually catches the eye of 4chan, at which point all hell starts breaking loose. Needless to say, things were getting out of hand and Shia needed to change things up a bit, so he did. He ended up putting up a flag in an unknown location that simply said, "He will not divide us" on it, and all you could see was the sky and the flag, and there was a live stream of it constantly. But don't underestimate the powers of the internet.
So what they did was Shia LaBeouf put up a flag in the middle of nowhere that said, "He will not divide us," and then had a live stream where you could go and look at the flag as it's waving in the breeze, right? They found the fucking flag. They found out where it was. And the way they found it was genius, and it's all detailed in this radio lab. The fact they took it down is actually making me mad.
Why would they?
Because what these guys did was awesome. All right. First of all, it was brilliant. They found social media posts that showed that people had met Shia LaBeouf in some place. Is that how you say his fucking name?
LaBeouf.
LaBeouf.
Yeah.
They found out that they had met him in some weird place in Tennessee. So they triangulated where he would be, right? So then what they did was they went around. They had one of their members go around with a car and beep the horn so they could hear the horn on the camera. And once they heard the horn on camera, then they knew he was there, or then they knew the flag was there. So then they found out where it is by stars. They looked at the fucking stars and they figured out where the area is. Because when it's nighttime, you can see the stars on the live feed, and they figured out what constellation it was. They went to the fucking flag, took it down, put a Make America Great Again hat on and a Pepe the Frog thing up there, and the guy walks up to the camera and goes, "Fuck Shia LaBeouf."
Law enforcement needs to clarify the statements made about the sketches and re-examine the evidence and consider releasing more of it to the public. I completely understand wanting to preserve the facts of the case so you can secure a conviction, but you need to have a person you're trying to convict in order for that to even matter. And after almost 3 years, I think it's pretty clear that something needs to be done to move things forward a bit. This case still has the public's attention right now, and law enforcement has tools at their disposal that I truly don't believe that they should overlook.